LOUDLABS show with Kpook, the mayor.
Well, the party didn't start till I walked in, and it probably won't end until the thing's end. But in the meantime, and in between time, you rock your show and I rock mine. This is how we do at the LOUDLABS show. Check it out. It's another episode for you to do what we need to do. Pay attention today, folks, because there'll be a lot of information being said today. So get your pen and paper ready, because everything you're gonna hear is what you want to hear, and you weren't afraid to ask, and we're gonna ask. So I got the producer Scott over here. I got Todd One like always. DJ Lou Man is always on the ones and two. So let's get the show rolling.
Everything is good and so fine. Everything is good and so fine. Everything is good and so fine. Everything is wonderful and so divine. Give thanks for another day. The sun is shining, wow. Everything is good and so fine. Everything is wonderful and so divine. Give thanks for another day. The whole world is mine, mine, mine. Take me there.
Hey, Todd One, what's going on? It's time for another episode, another show. How do you feel?
I feel okay. How about you?
You know, I've got the good reggae vibes in the back. DJ Lou Man always keeping us squared up with everything.
I saw him in the elevator. I thought it was LL Cool J.
Yeah. I can't live without my Kango.
Right?
He said on my radio, because every time we do see him, he does have that Kango. He's rocking the Kango.
So, how was Hot Atlanta?
Man, let me tell you, Hot Atlanta was hot.
Yeah.
It was hot. It was storming out there, and when it was storming, it was still hot.
Wait. I don't give a fuck about the weather. I'm asking you how the fuck Atlanta was, man.
Okay, listen. I went to a couple strip clubs.
Right. Let's get to that right now. Let's get to that.
I didn't find my dude the last time.
Yeah. Remember the fucking made it rain, right?
I went to the same club. He wasn't there, but.
Wait. That was the DJ that gave you that fucking brick of cash.
Brick of cash that said, "Do what you want to do."
Right, and it was all real ones. It wasn't funny money, right?
Ones.
It wasn't funny money.
Well, what's funny is when I go into those, and I started to. This time I was looking at stuff a little different when I went to these clubs, and they just got the stacks just sitting there.
Yeah. Like, no, I think some of that. See, I think that's funny money. I don't think that's like loose, like regular money. You get fucking bandits come up in there and be
funny
like,
money bands that make you dance.
Yeah.
You know, my buddy Demo, you've met him before, Sean. He'll be here one day performing. But he was so happy to have me there that he was just
he was peeling it off.
He was peeling it off and giving the money to me and saying, "Do it." The first thing he said was like, "If you don't pick a girl,
I'm gonna pick one for you." Oh, that's never good. That's never good.
No, make this thing even better. You know who was with us?
Who?
Rena Star from the Beat Pimps. Good old Karina came on in and came.
Oh no shit!
Yeah.
Wait, she's in Atlanta?
No, she's in New York. She came on in to party with her boy, man.
No.
To see what was going down.
No, the girl from the videos, the fucking Rena. Oh wow!
And that was what the craziest thing about it, because I know she's anti-booty shaking women, anti-titties in the face, and the first thing she said when I picked her up from the airport, she was, "Let's go to a strip club."
Well, I think she just wants to see how you want to, we want to entertain you.
Well, she just wanted to see booty and ass and titties in her face.
Okay, but wait, is she bat for that team?
No, she's not. No, she felt that because she was in Atlanta,
she just wanted to go to a good strip club. Yeah.
Aliens do.
Yeah.
So I give her much props, and one thing was funny was, Demo found a female for me while I was out there downstairs at the little place. And
found you one?
He found, because I wasn't looking for one.
No, but at the shop, he found you one at the shop.
He found me one at the shop. She was cute. She was so cute. She even had
white girl, black girl.
There ain't no white girls in there.
Wait, what's wrong with having white girls in there?
Wait, I went to when other times in Atlanta. I think I saw one other Asian besides the one I was with, and. Three white girls.
Wait a minute, you've seen Hustle and Flow, right?
Right.
Oh, right.
And that's how the white girl was, the one that I saw.
Okay.
There was only one. But she wasn't dancing. She was just there.
Well, at least there's one representing.
There was one.
Is that what you guys call it? At least it's representing, right?
But she was just in the hood. But we get to the club and the girls dancing. The girls, see, the girls in Atlanta, when they dance with you, they take it all off.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just take it off.
They let you see it.
They let you touch it.
Hold
they
it.
let you do whatever you want to do,
Yeah.
So she takes everything off. She starts bending over and she's twerking on my shit, and I'm standing up. And Karina grabs a $1 bill and puts it on her, that tramp stamp side.
Yeah.
And we watched the dollar just bounce. And then it kept on bouncing until it fell down. Like like a cash register machine, like the Plinko thing at
Plinko
Price is Right.
Right.
So all of a sudden, we started seeing how many dollar bills we could put on there to stack up.
No
and
kidding.
watch them just.
All right.
And we had the time of our life. Smoked a little hookah. I got a couple of hookah videos. You know,
Oh,
you go
sure.
on my
Yeah,
Instagram.
yeah.
You see some hookah videos.
So how long you there? Like almost 2 weeks you spent there, right?
That was 2 long, sweaty weeks.
Yeah.
Too long.
Huh? You had to do your laundry like every 3 days, right?
2 long, sweaty weeks. It was horrible, but. My mom was gone for the first week. She was in Aruba, so I had the car to myself. And I'm not gonna lie, Georgia's big.
Yeah.
So I'm on the outskirts.
It's a state, Pookie.
Yeah, it's a state. But I'm on the outskirts on the black side, Douglasville, and doing all the other. You know, I went to everything you heard Outkast sing about, Decatur, College Park,
right.
Everything they talked about. That's where I was.
Yeah.
And at night when I would come from the city, I swear to God, I'm not even gonna lie to you, Todd. There's no lights. I ran over 2 armadillos. I saw 2 foxes, and
you run them over. You run them down.
They're just in the middle of the road.
Are you sure they were armadillos?
No, they were armadillos. And I was driving.
You know what an armadillo looks like?
That's why I knew it was crazy, because the thing was like a rat with a shell.
Does armadillos are they that far east in the south?
I thought they were only in Texas, but they said the armadillos are everywhere out there.
Right.
So
we'll look that up. We'll have our.
But the funny thing is, my mom left me her Mercedes, right? And this real low, old.
Oh, you fucking scooped them up in that thing?
Old 2006 250. So, you know, it's got the low front end, right?
Yeah.
And I'm flying down the street, and I see this armadillo, and I'm like, they said, don't
you
swerve. It's just you and me. And he kind of looks at me like, oh, shit.
So you got 2 under your belt? You took 2 of them?
So I hit this armadillo, and all I heard was, whoosh. It just dragging because it was stuck under.
He's making a fucking belt underneath the car.
He was stuck, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Yeah. When I got to the house, I kind of did a backwards forward thing, and I was like, "I'm not looking under the car. No way am I looking under."
Not until you get not until you get the second one. Not until you get the second one lodged.
Second one didn't matter because I was in the big truck, and it just kept on going. And these roads, I swear to God, there was many times I thought like, am I gonna turn the corner and the Klan's just gonna be sitting right there?
Klan?
Like letting, oh, he's white, let's let him pass. Oh no,
we got him.
We got one right here.
Net over the truck.
Bingo.
The net over the Mercedes, yanking in.
Way out. You know, I thought something was gonna happen to me every time because the streets are dark.
Sure. Yeah. Nah, they don't. I don't think the Klan runs like that no more.
Yeah, you never know. It's you know, it can be something different than the Ku Klux Klan. It could be some other kind of Klan.
Right.
It ain't the Wu-Tang Clan out there, that's for sure.
Wu-Tang Clan. No, they're up in Shaolin where them fucking white hoods don't play.
But you know, overall, I had a great time.
And then your mom got back, and so you guys
and then we started putting the party together.
Yeah.
Had about 100 people at the party.
Nice.
Man, it was. I mean, when I say Southern hospitality is really there.
There is no other hospitality, right?
Man, that thing was so great. You know, the food was good.
Yeah.
The people, their attitudes are just wonderful. I did my display. The display I did in Melrose.
Yeah.
I did it in Atlanta.
Oh no shit! You brought all your artwork.
I brought everything.
You brought all that stuff.
I bought the suit, everything, and
wow,
you know what?
Dude,
those people.
Wait. Would you put that all in a luggage?
Yes, I did. I put it on my carry-on.
Dude, wait a minute.
Seriously, on your carry-on?
Wait a minute. Those are all. I mean, a lot of it's just all photos and shit, but. Wait, there's some artwork in there. There's all kinds of shit.
Just my Obama.
And the TSA let you on with all that shit.
And vinyl records. And
see, that's what I'm saying to watch. You watch. I leave on Monday. The TSA gonna have me in a fucking room going through my fucking iPad, all that shit. You watch.
I think I got the Obama pass when I'm coming through.
You and the Obama pass.
But they let me go right. They let me go right through, and I was like kind of scared. Like, are they gonna go through my shit? All these pictures. I got it. You know, the uniform. I got all kind of shit.
Why don't you just wear the uniform on? See what that would have done.
I said, I'm putting this on carry-on. I carried it on and carried it right off.
Nice.
But I left
the
people really appreciated the display that I did out there. They were like reading it and they're like, what? Like having their kids and certain people take a picture with this guy. Take a picture with him. Like, hey, okay, smile. But overall.
So there's a lot of people at the party you didn't know.
Oh, every time. But I meet new people, but they love me.
But now you know them.
I got like 5 different families now that whenever I come, they want to adopt me and say, hey, we want to take care of you.
Right?
Yeah, and then I woke up the first couple of weeks I was going out and I was fishing. Because, you know, I got my mother has a lake that's like 25 feet from her backyard.
No shit.
And so I just go down there and did some little fishing.
What'd you catch? Anything?
Nothing.
Right.
You know, rain. It was raining, so I didn't catch anything.
Some rain.
Caught some rain, and I'm looking, and then I'm out there just like
You caught some
pure black
post.
man like this, like where's the snake at? Like I'm looking all
right.
around,
Yeah,
looking
yeah,
for snakes.
yeah.
I'm hearing deer. I would see deer in the morning. It was a real.
Jesus Christ, you are out in the fucking sticks.
I'm out in the sticks.
And how long has your mom's been there?
9.5 years.
Out there in that same joint, and that where she lives now.
You should see how big her property line is.
Yeah, well, fuck, you
her
get a
property
fucking
line is huge.
Yeah, I mean, you get a fucking for 80 grand out here, you know, get you nothing.
Her house, she got it for like about 160, 70.
Right,
It's
you get acre land.
4 bedrooms, a basement as big as the house.
Yeah, acre
a loft,
land.
the office.
Yeah. Armadillos everywhere.
Armadillos, deer,
Right.
snakes, bunny rabbits.
Right on.
You know, and a lake.
That has no fish in
That
it.
has no fish in it.
Yeah.
But the next door neighbor claimed, I got this catfish and it was pregnant, so maybe there's some catfish in there.
All right, man. So who's on the docket today?
Man, today is a very special day because, you know, a lot of people have been curious, and as myself, I'm curious too because I want to, you know, marijuana. It's a big topic right now.
It's a flower.
It's a flower, and they had it as number 1. Or what the highest it could be.
Yeah, it's in the class. It's in the same Schedule 1 as, you know, fucking coke, crystal, heroin, right?
I think coke was underneath that, if I'm not mistaken, because
either way, it's rated. It's scheduled in a fucking horrible fucking schedule. It
Right.
should be fucking taken off. Period.
Taken off, period, and the only reason why is because it's the gateway drug that they claim. But
think about if you were just pushing 5 fucking pounds of fucking green. You'd only fucking done about maybe 3 years, 2 years,
if I would have done probation,
fucking 6 months, 8 months, right?
Probation, and I do recall they said that George Washington smoked on the hippie plant.
Yeah.
You know, so you know we have to figure something out. But
that was all. I think that was their front. I think they all made MDMA back in the day, and they were all tripping. They were all doing the good stuff.
I want to know who the first person was that picked that up and said, "Hey, look at this."
Indians.
You think it was the Indians?
Fucking A. Indians.
And-
If it wasn't the white man, trust me.
I mean, they had other things that they could. So they had the peyote. What they were just picking things up and saying,
Yeah.
"Let's try this. Let's put this in the pipe."
That's what the Indians brought to Thanksgiving. It was weed.
Is that why it's called the peace pipe? Because
Right.
peace.
So they wanted to get them all fucked up, and they said, as soon as they fall asleep, take all their shit, because they're gonna do it to us. As soon as they all pass out, go through their shit, yank it.
Get it over with. But
Get the keys to the Mayflower.
we're gonna bring in some special guests, and I have a real close connection with both of these guys.
Yeah.
One is just a childhood friend, and the other is a bit friend.
A bit friend. We call a bit friend.
A bit friend.
Cell block friend.
And
But
we're
he's
gonna bring them
moved
up.
on to some pretty
some
like
huge things.
like greener pastures, entrepreneur shit.
Well, both of them
fucking-
have.
Yeah.
Both of them went to greener pastures. And
greener pastures, huh? Right? That's funny.
Green acres.
Yeah, right.
You know, so they're all really doing it right now. So
All right, so we're going to talk some marijuana talk today.
yeah, we're talking. We're gonna get to the nitty gritty today and find out
Answer some questions for people.
questions.
I have a shit ton of
I
questions.
can't wait. That's why I wanted to bring. This is gonna be great for you.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay,
Let's do
so
it.
coming to our thrones as our guests, we're gonna bring Virgil, the co-founder of the CMA, and we're also gonna bring Gene, the founder of the CPA, the California Patients Alliance.
All right.
Come on down,
up,
fellas.
And we have game 3 going on, and we got about 4 minutes left. And we're just watching in the background, so don't tax us for that, YouTube. It's just in the background, you know, at a regular old fucking
We're not
house.
paying attention.
We're not paying attention. No one's watching the game.
Okay, so what will be the first question that we want to ask you?
Well, there's a barrage of questions that are going to be coming flying out of this mouth. But just let's get to know our guests right now. So Virgil, how do you know Kpook? How do you end up becoming to be a guest here at the LOUDLABS show?
Well, he invited me. We talked. Well, first of all, I met him.
Right. Let's get to that. Where do you know Kpook from?
Let's get to that.
That's what my audience wants to know.
I met him in TI.
That's not the Treasure Island in Las Vegas, kids. That's Terminal Island.
Yes.
Where
yeah.
Kpook was housed.
We was sitting at a poker table in Terminal Island,
Right.
Treasure Island.
Yeah, where they come around, drinks. Take some drinks here. So yeah, so you know Kpook from the inside there.
Yes.
You guys doing some time.
Absolutely.
And what were you doing time for?
I was doing time for owning and operating legitimate medical marijuana collectives in the city of Los Angeles.
Okay, hold on. Owning
and operating. Right.
So
the owner operator.
So somehow you can't just say, I'm just going to open one up. You have to go through all the,
Right, yeah.
You have to go through all the business thing and everything to get it up and running. So obviously someone gave him permission to run it.
Yeah, and that permission was I think from what I know, the little bit I know about that permission back in the day is it wasn't quite as.
What year is this? What year?
What year is this?
We're talking 2004.
2004 when you start and you
Absolutely.
operate your own collective or dispensary,
Yes,
right?
Yes.
Okay, and so you get ready and you get clipped and then you go in and that's where you meet Kpook.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. And Gene, he's another one of our guests here. Gene, we know Gene from the Downey Loop.
He's part of the loop. He's part of the 562.
562.
Yes.
So and Gene, so how and you also have your own dispensary, right? You have your own collective.
Correct.
Right.
In Los Angeles.
And what is that called? What do you do?
California Patients Alliance. It's DBA'd as the Emerald Room LA.
Okay. And so you guys. Look, like I said, I have questions of this fucking zooming through
His
my
mouth
fucking,
is like drooling.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know what he wants to say first.
Because it's such a fucking hot topic right now, and it's just like there's just so much going on with it. And is it lucrative? Is it dangerous? Is it both? Is it there's so much going on with it. So
Yes.
right. Check. Does it feel good to get high? Check. Right. So Virgil, you do your time, you get rated. Exactly.
Yes.
Tell us what went down.
Well, there was a couple of series of issues. There was an accident that a young kid had on his way home.
From your place?
Actually, not from my collective. He bought an eighth on Friday. He had the accident on Sunday.
Oh, well, there's a little gap in time there.
Real big gap.
Lawyers can't fucking, Jesus Christ, that's that's 48 hours.
I mean, does an eighth last that long?
No.
So he had an accident. In the accident, he had our edibles and tea that was locked away in his back bed of his pickup truck.
Right.
But with the impact, he had motorcycles in the back, crashed into that bed, busted open the trunk.
Did it kill him?
No, it didn't.
Oh, okay.
No, it didn't. But
Did he hurt anybody else?
Yes, it did. He ran into a motorist that was actually being cited by CHP.
Wait a minute. There was
Daytime or nighttime?
I'm not sure. That I didn't get all of that information.
So, he ran into somebody that was already pulled over.
Yes.
And what an accident that turned out to be.
So, although that actually had nothing to do with my federal case, this was what was thrown in the news to just kind of make it look
make it look good.
Sensationalize it a little bit.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, okay, so in 2004, and then how long are you operating before you get clipped?
I was operating from 2004 all the way to 2008 was when the actual investigation started. So the feds were sitting outside of the place, following me around home and taking the kids to school and so on and so forth.
Right.
And that was their investigation point. I guess when they wrapped their investigation up, then the actual raid took place. So
where was your spot at?
Oh, well, I had 6 of them.
No, okay. Well, where's the one that where the kid left or?
The Compton location.
Okay. And so when you were 6 operations. Okay. So where are they all basically in
from
Los
Compton
Angeles?
to the Valley. So I had 1 in Compton, 1 in Gardena,
Jesus Christ,
3 in
fucking
LA.
busy, Virgil.
Yes, and 1 in the Valley.
Yes.
And in 2004, so that's what now we're looking at 2004, 2014. You're looking at that's like 13 years ago, right?
Absolutely.
About 13 years ago.
Absolutely.
And weed wasn't even. I mean, it was still, people. I mean, on the ballots. I mean, it was before fucking Obama. I mean, when Obama got on the ticket. Remember? I mean, right? There was like, oh no, we're gonna get medical this year, and
Absolutely.
fucking every year just
that
kept
was-
getting scooted off the fucking ticket.
Yeah.
So you were okay, and then operating in that fashion. Medicinal was still like you had to have a full script, right? You know, you had to have a
Absolutely.
doctor's script.
Yeah, you had to go to the
and
doctor.
You had to go to the doctor and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
And fuck, I lost my train of thought.
Well, basically, you had to go to the doctor. Once you went to the doctor gave you the card, and once he gave you the card,
Absolutely.
you were able to walk into the stores and you just do your operation one by one, bit by bit. So you get some, and you come in and come out.
Okay.
Right, okay, yeah, but okay, how do you back in the day in 2004? Okay, how about this, Virgil? When is the first time that these marijuana shops were able to open up and we didn't have to get it on the street anymore in the LA County?
Roughly around 2002.
2002?
Yes.
Okay, so basically, like the first shops were kind of starting to open up in Los Angeles in 2002.
West Hollywood and Hollywood were the first few shops. You had one called the Yellow House, which was one of the first shops that opened up. But they were all in Hollywood and West Hollywood. There were none south of Olympic at that time.
Okay, and when was the first time you opened up your shop, Gene?
2006.
2006 you had one you're rolling. Wow. So you guys are pretty much like, pioneers of the, the early, let's say with the first, within the first 5 years of this kind of being somewhat a legitimate business. I mean, and I say somewhat legitimate because obviously the feds come in and fuck with you, but under state doesn't want to fuck with you because you guys are fucking making money and paying taxes.
Absolutely.
And you're fucking creating fucking jobs, you're creating all the fucking food fucking joints within a 5 mile radius of your place. It's all everybody's stopping at and eating at. You know what I'm saying? Right? I mean, no. Look at Oaksterdam, right? Their platform when Oakland opened up their platform. I mean, they would open up shops within in the back of ice cream shops, and then cookie shops or restaurants and upstairs from restaurants. So I mean, and the mayor and the governor of Oakland, man, they didn't think that they're not fucking with that type of business, right?
Oakland's running in a whole different time.
No, but they've been running this. I mean, for California, wouldn't you say Oakland was on kind of like the predecessor of this operating and working, and on a scale that's actually working and not being fucked with?
Yeah, Oakland is always, Northern Cal has always been more progressive activism-wise than Southern
Sure.
Cal. That's where
The
heart of
Humboldt,
activism comes
the
from. Your
triangle,
Haight-Ashbury's, all of your politically active people were in the Bay Area.
Right, the Bay Area, right, yeah, I get, okay, so
wait, let me ask one question. What happens to
jump in here, Kpook.
What happens to Humboldt County and stuff like that? How do they feel about all of these medicinal? I mean, these shops is opening up, and now you got new growth. What happened? Because at first they were just like, "Hey, we got everything. Come get it. Come bring it down." Or they were always like, "Either we don't know you, so we're not going to let you in." I used to hear all kind of stories about what was going on up north.
It's actually the same concept. Southern California was always Northern California's distribution point. So you have to look at California. Right now, we're the #1 distribution center in the world.
Wait a
of
minute,
cannabis.
even with Colorado, even with the way they're rolling?
Yes. Well,
still.
Colorado only has, 5 million population?
Right, and so isn't it right? Isn't it true that they can't get anything out of state? It's all going to be grown in state and distributed in-state housing, right?
Absolutely.
They don't, I mean, what you do with the weed once you buy it at a dispensary in Colorado and you want to take it across state lines, that's up to you. But they have to legally purchase everything from growers in the state of state of Colorado.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay.
Correct. So, you look at the population of Colorado, 5 million. Our Los Angeles Unified School District
has that.
You know what I'm saying? So, we're talking apples and oranges.
Right.
15 million population.
And we're not advocating you bring any of this weed to the LA Unified School District.
Yeah,
all right.
No. It's a different monster here. First of all, California is the #1 production and distribution of cannabis in the world.
Okay.
And we sit as the 6th largest financial market in the world.
Right.
So this is the mecca of cannabis.
Sure.
Period.
Okay,
and
wait. Sorry, Virgil. So why was everyone going to Amsterdam, Netherlands, and so we have more weed?
Vacation.
No, we have more weed and distribute more weed than they do from the place that was saying, "Hey, come over here, come to Amsterdam, come get high, come get the cannabis cup is here." We have more than them.
For the open, yes. And we have the best cannabis than anybody in the world, even Amsterdam.
Say it again.
They only went to Amsterdam they only went to Amsterdam for the experience.
Right.
The open coffee shop experience
Trust
where
me,
they could smoke freely.
Oh yeah.
You know, so we were still under certain restraints as far as public consumption.
Yeah. My first time in Amsterdam, when I got back, the one thing I could not believe, I could tell all my friends, I was like, just in being in Amsterdam, we could survive and get high on just the roaches that were dropped by the fucking people throughout the city. Like you live in Amsterdam, you don't need to buy anything. It's everywhere. Not only in the coffee shops and the bars, but people just leaving ashtrays and shit. Like if you had no money, you could still get high in Amsterdam.
Okay.
And plus, it's kind of a cool place to go.
Yeah.
They got
So
the
is
red light
California?
district.
You think eventually California will have like a 3rd Street promenade or something that's just full of this
Absolutely.
weed shops? That are,
Yes.
We better get on them. But this weed shops is up and down like a street, an area that's just like Amsterdam. Is that possible?
Yes, I think we'll probably move a little more progressive than that. We'll have things like cigar lounges, but there'll actually be cannabis lounges. I think ours are going to be a little bit more eloquent, a little bit more
Upscale, top shelf.
What LA looks like.
Right.
Right.
My
It'll
t-shirt.
represent, it'll definitely represent what LA represents. The
Right.
high end, the Hollywood, type of atmosphere.
Your superstars and people will be coming there and they're not going to be afraid to come inside there and they'll be like, hey, I chill at like kind of like the Cohiba spot in Long Beach. So basically, our cigar spots that everyone was going to will now be cannabis spots where everyone's going to go to.
Correct.
But we want to but I'm just asking, are we going to, instead of this a spot here, a spot here, a spot there, do you think there will be like a street?
No, we wouldn't do that. We want to make it accessible to everyone in every community. So we wouldn't have what they call a green zone, because then that just makes no sense.
Green zone's my couch when we get home.
Absolutely.
Right?
So we would have more integrated within the communities that we are in. So West Hollywood, North NoHo, Compton, Long Beach, Watts, different communities, Gardena, Torrance, Downey.
No, they're not letting anything happen.
Right? DNY. Not yet.
Not
The
yet.
When they do,
I'm working hard
I
on it.
hope it's
Yeah,
with you because
Gene's
I
working
am
hard on
there.
it. All right, Gene, so I have a question for you. So you've been owning and operating since 2006?
Yes.
And do you have just one shop? You have multiple shops?
Now I have one shop, but I am in licensing in 3 other cities.
Okay, all right. And so your shop, how long have you been involved in the cannabis dispensary for sale business?
Since 06.
Since you were 6?
No, since 06.
I was gonna say, damn, Gene. All right, 06. Got it. So, and where's your shop now currently?
It's on Melrose,
Oh, you have the Melrose shop.
Melrose
Right,
and-
Melrose in between.
Switzer, right off of La Cienega and Switzer.
Oh, okay,
Melrose.
cool. Yeah, I know that area. All right. So, what's your experience, Gene? Since you've been how do you set up and get a dispensary going? Let's throw that question at Gene.
I think Virgil will probably answer it a lot better because he's actually running the chair for getting licensing, because right now we have immunity. We don't have licensing to sell marijuana. We have immunity. So there's 135 stores that have immunity.
And
in
is
the
that
city of LA.
is how many? So how many stores are there total? That's 135 stores that are in the SoCal area that are able to own and operate, or there's more than that?
No, there's probably
2,000.
2,000 stores.
Okay.
That's what we're talking about. So
Okay, are they legal or
Yeah,
all
that's
2,000
the question.
legal? Okay, all right. So why aren't they legal?
It's what the industry called rogue shops. What the city has actually acknowledged was the 187 pre-ICO, which predates 2007, that were in existence and registered with the city of Los Angeles. So the city looks at them as the legitimate shops, the registration shops.
Okay.
Anything outside of that didn't register in 2007 is considered an illegal
Rogue.
or a rogue shop.
Okay, and so how are rogue? Okay, so then is your shop a rogue shop?
No.
No, you don't operate a rogue shop. You don't operate a rogue shop anymore. But okay,
Never.
No, never. But I'm saying, so you went in and did your bit, but you still own and retained your licensing and all the permits to do.
They never told me I had to shut my shops down. This is the crazy part about it. They put me in prison for owning and operating medical marijuana shops, but never said shut them down.
What the fuck?
So
wait a minute, wait. So you get fucking clipped, you get locked up, and they say you got to do fucking 6-year bit?
Yes.
And they don't shut it down.
And they don't make your okay. So if you're not shut, so who's operating your shit? Family, friends, and keeping it going, right?
Absolutely.
So, and that whole time, it's still operating and making money while you're in the inside?
Yes.
What the fuck?
Nice.
I mean, but when you do taxes or anything, they're taking everything.
That's
they're
what I'm
taking
saying.
everything you own because you know that's what made you money, so they're gonna take it.
Absolutely.
So they didn't want to take that because was it that they just didn't know what they were doing? They're just taking you just because you're making tax-free money, or what were they afraid of? I mean, why were they afraid of you and put you in? What do you think?
Well, actually, that's a very good question because we still haven't figured it out to this day. I mean, there's a lot of assumptions. The fact that I own 6 locations, the fact that I'm an African American operating in most South Central area, Compton area, areas that are predominantly Black and Latino. The fact that I was the leader of the industry back then. We were hosting rallies in front of the federal building. We were very politically active with city council, pushing the legalization of medical marijuana facilities in the city of Los Angeles. There's a number of reasons why. Actually, just selling a Schedule I drug really wasn't the issue.
Why do you think it's a Schedule I? Why do you think weed's still on that Schedule I?
The reason why it's a Schedule I was because of DuPont. And so if people read the history of Reefer Madness, Hearst, and DuPont was in the textile business, polyester, and plastic.
Paints and plastics.
Exactly. If hemp was allowed to be legally grown in the States, polyester and hemp would not exist. They would not be the power that they are to this day,
right.
the multi-billion-dollar industry and generational wealth. Hemp would have killed all of that because, one, we know hemp is a much more viable product. Hemp, you can make a home 2x4s with hemp, paper.
Right. I mean, there's 100 things fucking hemp can do.
Millions.
Other
of
than
things.
get you high, and so with saying that, Virgil, so it wasn't just like big tobacco killing it. It was like industry. It was like DuPont was like a seriously big hand and going, nah. Let's keep it Schedule I. And like in Hearst and all those guys back in the day, they had access to the fucking older white cats that were running this fucking country.
Absolutely.
And all the patent office and all that shit. Mm-hmm. And when they get together, they just go, nope, let's nix that idea, because if they didn't, then big oil, big industry, big plastic would all get a cut. It'd be cut out of the pie. And they don't want that. So of course, and one of the main reasons is anybody can grow hemp. It's a plant. So the last thing they want is everybody dealing and getting themselves and doing for themselves. Yeah. They want it hooked on the government tit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's why they cut it.
Definitely.
Okay,
Definitely.
all right.
Yeah.
See, I know some stuff.
Oh yeah.
And the pharmaceutical companies.
Oh, and big pharma. Don't forget them big fucking crooks, right?
Yes.
They're the biggest.
Yeah, fucking A.
Because I hear about pharmaceuticals, and I hear about because we found how to cure cancer.
Yes.
We found plants.
Absolutely.
Way out in the Amazons and everything else.
Oh, fucking.
And I hear that when they find those doctors that fight it, hey, we got it. Next thing you know, you don't know where the doctor is anymore.
Right. Or his fucking notes or his vials.
Everything's gone.
It's like diabetes and asthma.
All that
they
stuff
can fix
can be
all that
cured.
shit, but it's way easier to fucking sell kids fucking breathers and all the fucking and the needles you shit to maintain your fucking disease. Right. They don't want none of us fixed. They just want to fuck us buying fucking medical products.
And I think they feel the same thing about marijuana because we have the headaches. We can everything that we can get the marijuana can cure just about everything we have.
Look at the NFL. The NFL right now is having a lot of the players are going because they all getting clipped.
They're in pain.
Because they're all getting clipped and fined for fucking missing games for fucking testing dirty on fucking marijuana drugs.
But they don't seem to understand that helps them relax.
But that's what I'm saying. They're like, so you're up on our fucking schedule dates and our play dates and our practices, and you want us banging around in pads. But when some of these guys say, "Hey, look, man, I tested dirty for weed, but I'd rather take this weed. I'd rather smoke this weed than take a fucking handful of pills for the week," and they're like, "Sorry," it's like, "Fuck no."
I'd rather kill my lungs than kill my kidney.
Right, and my liver and all this shit, dude. So I mean,
but that's where stuff like Gene comes into CBD.
Correct. CBD is one of the things we're manufacturing for United Cannabis, which is a publicly traded company, and they are huge in the CBD realm. We're actually talking to the NFL to get one of our formulas, which is P5 for muscle recovery.
Right.
So for some of the people that are out there watching and listening, just explain a little bit what the CBD is, because I know they had something on Vice and A&E about the guy, about the brothers that were out there, and they helped the little girl that was having seizures.
Colorado, right.
In Colorado,
yeah.
and they helped her out, and then they used CBD, and then they showed how expensive it was, and they had to one had to fly all the way to California to get it.
They were trucking back and forth from the East Coast,
and
right?
It was costing them so much that the whole family, they said, "Hey, I'm going to leave you here, but husband had to stay in New Jersey, but she had to live in
Right, and
Colorado."
the little girl was having seizures, right? What's her name? With
I completely forgot her name, but I was following her for a
They
while.
call it Charlotte's Web.
Charlotte's Web.
That's it, Virgil. Of course, Virgil fucking knows.
Come on, Virgil is the man.
No. Right.
The president.
That's what I'm saying.
So what is it? What is give us a diagnostic of CBD.
CBD, so marijuana has it has THC, which gives you the high effect, and then CBD, which is the medicinal effect. That, you can use it for many varieties of
and the CBD does not give you the
CBD.
CBD does not give you the effect that the THC does at all whatsoever.
There is no high effect.
Okay, what is the effect of it?
It's just medicinal, pure medicine. You don't have any effect from it. It doesn't it doesn't alter your mind
at all. It's just like taking aspirin or a pill or something that wouldn't alter your mind state whatsoever.
No euphoria.
No euphoria involved in taking that. And so, can you take that? Can you get the CBD? Am I saying that?
CBD.
What's it stand for?
CBD.
What's CBD stand for?
It's a cannabinoid, and it's a component, as Gene says, out of the THC plant. It's extracted into an oil form, which Gene has here in front of him, and it is used as a tincture. And so instead of consuming it by smoking it or inhaling it, it has now been created in a concentrated form and into drops that you can just drop up under your tongue.
So you cannot smoke it to get the CBD out of it.
There is a CBD flower that you can smoke.
Okay.
But the most effective way
is to take it in this form, in the
is
oils.
the oral form.
In the oral form.
Yes,
okay.
because then the way it's ingested is a lot more effective when you take it orally. So what people have done, as far as scientifically, is to create it in a liquid form to where it can be ingested a lot quicker within the bloodstream and in the system to be more effective or quickly effective towards pain, because this is what
seizures,
right. Pain, and other ailments that people don't want to get the actual high
right.
or euphoric effect out of it.
Okay, and so how long have people been able to take and get this form out of the plant?
So prior to this, there was Rick Simpson oil. So Rick Simpson was the one that came up with this idea and started treating cancer.
Who is Rick Simpson?
He's someone who's been in the industry for quite some time, and he was, I guess you would say, a
pioneer.
Is he a botanist?
From our industry,
sure.
he
I mean,
would
if you're
be.
growing a plant and you're taking care of these plants,
Absolutely.
even though you didn't go to school for it or whatnot. I mean, if you're a grower, you're a farmer. If you grow a whole field of fucking corn, you're a farmer.
Absolutely.
You know plants.
Absolutely.
So just so you guys consider him a botanist, and so this Rick Simmons guy is kind of the first guy to figure out how to extract this part of the plant out of this part of this element out of the plant.
What year are we
always
looking? What year?
Rick Simpson came in, what was that, about 2000, maybe I would say 10, 11.
Okay.
Somewhere
pretty
around
recent.
there,
Correct.
if I'm not mistaken. But let's be clear, Rick Simpson was not the first to do it. He was just the first to become public with it, or to be publicized.
And share it. And
Exactly.
share it with others. Like he wasn't like hiding it, the element or how to do it. He was verbal about it and put it out there and for everybody to.
Well, he came in the time when the media was focused on the industry. There were people prior to him where the media didn't focus on the medicinal aspect of
Right.
it.
They're
Because,
just-
you know, we had to go through transitions in this industry.
Absolutely.
We had to go through the patients first, which started this fight. And it
Yep.
was all about patients' rights. It was all about access for patients to get the medicine.
Yeah.
Then it became the fight for the collective model, the dispensary, and so for the patient to gain access through a dispensary. And then now it's becoming like big business.
Sure.
So now you see,
Big.
yes, big business. So now you see the industry, media, and everybody now rushing to see what's going on. So if you are now in position, then of course the camera's going to hit your face first, and people are going to say, "Oh, he was the first to do it."
Sure.
But there are people prior to that. He was just the first to now bring it out and make it something that we now focus on as a component to help people be cured within the cannabis industry, cancer, because we have treated cancer patients with this, and they have gone into remission.
Yeah, there's a few cases,
lot.
More than a few, right? Now
A lot.
there's a lot of cases, cancer cases now that have actually gone into remission with the help of medicinal marijuana.
Absolutely.
Cancer, epilepsy, arthritis, you name it.
What about ALS?
Autism.
Are you guys on the verge of? Is any of this helpful for ALS patients?
So you have PTSD is a big one that we're working on. Anxiety is
Yeah.
huge for people that can't sleep.
Right.
Um,
So wait, before you say that, so then, if you're saying PTSD, anxiety, can't sleep, so wouldn't the best person to help market and make this more legal and more people want to approve of it, wouldn't you be better to go to the military?
Absolutely, and we have a veterans arm within our organization that speaks out about how the cannabis has helped them with their PTSD, how it's helped them get off of the 15 different medications that they're taking.
Because you get the military on your side,
But
and you
the
got,
VA
we're supposed
doesn't
to protect
cover it.
them.
But the VA won't cover it.
Oh,
No.
come
It's a
on.
drug. It's a Schedule I
One drug, right?
But it's going to help our soldiers.
No,
It's
but
a
that's
Schedule I drug.
right. So that's what I'm saying. So right there, guys. Okay, so here's my next question then. How do you guys ultimately see this fight going? Because from where I sit, Big Pharma has got so much fucking cash, and they got so many big lawyers, they got fucking government behind them
Yes.
for so many years, and
Yes.
having all those congressmen and white senators up there going, "Oh no, it's Schedule I. This is a gateway fucking drug," and their whole honestly, I really cannot wait for like fucking, I don't know, like 200, 300 of them just to fucking go away and have this younger class of congressmen and just more well-rounded like today's thinking,
Yes.
because you're fighting. Big Pharma is yesteryear's thinking, but they've got lots of dough, they got lots of lawyers, and they're gonna fight this all the way. So how do you guys, how do you see the fight going forward from your end?
Outreach, awareness, and now that it's being recreational, there's going to be a lot more people knowing these drugs. So with the recreational aspect of it, I think the awareness to patients, we're talking to a lot of caregivers,
Education.
education is going to be key.
Yeah.
Right.
So what has happened now that recreational has come into play, and now the MCRSA, Medical Cannabis Regulation and Safety Act, which was implemented, actually was signed into law by Governor Brown in 2015, will be implemented in 2018.
2018 when?
Close to the beginning of
the year?
2018.
Okay.
So what'll happen is there are a lot of educational platforms educating the public.
Yeah.
And so now you have assembly members that are super educated on cannabis.
Yep.
Senators that are super educated
Right,
on
like
cannabis.
I said, that old thinking from yesteryear is
Correct.
it's starting to kind of
Fade away.
which is, I mean,
Absolutely.
which is It's fucking awesome, and it needs to go. It needs to go away. This drug needs to get off that Schedule 1 fucking list.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes, it really needs to be descheduled. And once, what is going to happen?
That's the term, kid.
Now,
Descheduled.
see, what happened is the federal government is allowing research, and so that's the biggest issue. There's been research, but it's been outside the country. So
Right.
it's been in Australia, it's been in Israel, it's been in other countries that have done research. The government has not allowed us as Americans to do research.
Or any of our scientists here in the United States.
Exactly, to have research and substantial research that will back up the medicinal properties of medical marijuana.
Is that
and
so they
cannabis.
could still keep it on the schedule and still?
They're just fighting against it because
But
they
that's
know,
what I'm saying.
'cause they
They
already
keep
know what the
fighting.
answers are going to be.
Right, no,
it's
they
going to
all
be
know.
all positive, but they want to be like, we don't, because it's almost like if our scientists say it's a thumbs up, then it's a thumbs up for everybody.
But our scientists have been saying it's a thumbs up. I mean, it's like climate control and
Yes.
weather science. I mean, overwhelming. The scientists in the global community say, look, it's fucking happening. This is real. And I know the majority of the scientists would overwhelmingly say this is not a Schedule 1 fucking narcotic. It's not. You know, from yesteryear and the what did you call, what was that, the reefer madness.
Reefer madness,
All that was just a propaganda ploy to really but not only to keep fucking white women off fucking weed, so and you off of weed, so you wouldn't be raping white women, right? Right? That's what they were afraid of.
Afraid of black man,
Afraid of the black man.
the white woman,
afraid of the
or
black
weed.
man. That's what a lot of this is.
So guess what we did? We made crack.
Well, no, right. Yeah. So fuck you. Well, you want to see some crazy shit.
You want to see your white women get crazy?
You want to see something crazy? All right. Yeah. No, but basically that. I mean, it is this fight that is got overwhelming answers to it already, but they're just holding up resistance because, like you said, Gene, the pharmaceutical companies, they want to sell a grip of Vicodins, they want to sell a grip of fucking Percocets, and those pills. And there's overwhelming evidence that those fucking put holes in your liver. Ambient. Fucking block you up for fucking 4 days.
Well, it was
And you'll cook.
It was a mechanism to feed the system.
Right.
And so once we understand that mechanism that continued to feed this system, and it didn't only do it financially within the big pharma, but it also fed the system, the prison system.
Oh, yeah,
Because you have
rolling people up. Yeah.
Exactly.
No,
See, people don't realize that 50% of the crimes that people were being locked up for were marijuana crimes.
Yes.
And
then on your third, and then you get on your third strike, and that keep the populations in the prisons fucking float up and heavy. And meanwhile, all the fucking private companies that are registered up on the NASDAQ and the fucking, you have the companies that are fucking bringing in food, sheets, employment. All these companies are making fucking money, hand over fist money, by keeping the prisons full of fucking offenders for marijuana offenders.
Yeah,
Fuck. Geo properties.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're one of the biggest prison mechanisms that, if you notice when you look at your paperwork, if you've ever been to prison and being released, that's written on there. If you look at your halfway house paperwork, that's the company that runs the halfway house.
Yep.
If you look at where they're growing now, which they licensed out in Adelanto, they're right next door to a GEO prison.
Absolutely.
No.
I'm a block away.
GEO, if you go look
I'm a
at the
block
name,
away.
it's posted out there, GEO prison. That is the company that's been getting rich off of people who have been locked up for marijuana, and right around the corner, and I guarantee you that some of the people that are sitting in that GEO prison are there for marijuana,
Oh, yeah.
but they're right around the corner from a bunch of cultivators who are licensed to grow that same drug they are in prison for.
Right.
Imagine that.
It's such a like, don't look at the right hand, left hand's doing this. It's like everybody's. So I mean, even you guys. I mean, like the rogue operators. These people are just trying to come up in a system that is still. They're cowboys too. They don't exactly know what the fuck they're doing, and they're operating very fucking loosely, as it seems. From what you guys. I mean, so even under their own guidelines, they operate loosely. And they come and go when they want. The Fed, like you said, they pick and choose.
Yeah,
how you got chose to get rated, how that guy gets choose to get rated. who knows how all this happens? It goes down. But I would have to say, I think that the reason how they pick and choose is it's got a lot to do with who's making cash, who's got heavy traffic. You know, they're watching it all, right?
Who's making noise?
Who's making noise and who's causing this problem? Even like you said, like if some kid gets a fucking 8th and goes down the street and racks into a,
2 days later.
2 days later, yeah, whatever the case may be. But what I'm saying is that they're still operating on a very loose schedule, it would seem too,
That brings me to my next point, and this is the reason why it was so important that we passed Proposition M in the city of Los Angeles, which we passed a few months ago.
What is Proposition M?
Proposition M is a four-pronged situation which protects the city, citizens, business owners, and communities. Law enforcement, educates them on what they need to do regarding the industry. So what it did is it created smart and sensible regulations, something we haven't had for 21 years. Licensing mechanism, which we've never had, as Gene stated, never had a license. What we've had is limited immunity ban. That's not a license. That's only a defense in court if I am harassed by law enforcement.
Okay.
Taxation. So what has happened at the collective model, the dispensary is taxed 6%. What we've done is reduced it from 6% to 5%. But what we've done is ushered in a whole nother tax bracket. Cultivation, manufacturing, distribution, transportation all at 2%, lab testing at 1%, delivery service at 2%. So we brought in that whole tax bracket mechanism that they weren't getting.
Right.
Now we gave it to the city and say.
But that's what I'm saying. Like instead of like fucking putting the battering ram through your door, work with us and we can fucking help fill your coffers.
Absolutely.
Right. So then why is law enforcement, DEA, federal side, why are they still so fucking hesitant to be on the right side of this issue?
Well, as it stands right now, the DEA has taken a hands-off approach. Because of the laws that exist in place that do protect the states that have any medical marijuana law or recreational law. So they've taken a hands-off approach. Only raised that you will see now is local law enforcement. But what happened now with Prop M is that the final thing with the 3 things that I just explained to you, now enforcement can work properly. Because with the license, it's either your license or not. So now law enforcement knows who to go after and what to go after. Like I explained, there aren't any rogue liquor stores.
Right.
Because they're licensed.
Sure.
So the fix to our problem was licensure. And that's what Proposition M did, was create a licensing mechanism for each component of the industry. Now the city can regulate us properly because they know where we are, but through licensing. Law enforcement can make sure that we're doing the right thing. And we don't have to waste law enforcement resources on these businesses. Why? Because they have a license.
Sure. You guys are all in the books.
And if we don't operate within our guidelines, then there's a mechanism through what we call the Cannabis Licensing Commission that can pull our license from us.
Right. Because they don't want you guys shining a bad light on what these steps to make it, a much easier and, not so illegal way to obtain your cannabis.
A more even more legit way to
right.
obtain
So they don't want
cannabis.
So they don't want that getting fucked up. And if you do get your license yanked, then you must have been doing
that's
something
shame
wrong.
on you.
Then that's shame. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Then you screwed something up.
And then you got to think about it. A person who invests, say, $1 million into his business and receives one of these licenses, he would be a fool.
Sure.
To get that taken from him for an eighth or a gram or
doing
even a quarter.
And being shady.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
So, and if somebody's that irresponsible, then they don't need to be in this industry.
Right. So how long? Okay, but so when the license came around, how long has it been since you got ready to how long has that gap been since this new implementation of having been licensed of the M law being passed?
So we've been operating, medical marijuana has been here since 1996 all the way up until present day. What's that, 21 years?
Yeah.
So that's 21 years we've been operating without a true licensing mechanism.
Wow.
So you have to keep in mind, this is the first state to ever have medical marijuana. Way before Denver was thought of,
Colorado is Maryland. Is Maryland? I mean, how many states are medicinal? I mean, are we more than half of the states?
We're more than half the states.
More than 25?
Mixed with medicinal
and recreational.
And recreational, but also what they call decriminalization.
Okay.
And so, in other words, certain states have allowed you to have an ounce
if you
to
get
possess
rolled
an
up and
ounce.
got pulled over, they can still, you don't have to pour it out or fucking let them fucking cops go, thank you, and put it in their fucking pocket.
So
So
what's,
they
what's Vegas like right
decriminalized
now?
it.
Is Vegas, what's Vegas' situation?
Vegas is medical.
Medical, you're allowed to have,
yeah.
you got to have a script on you.
Absolutely.
It's not decriminalized, but you got to have a script on you,
You
right?
have to have a script on you.
Remember back in the day, when you're going to Vegas, you're like, dude, if you get caught with a seed,
It's over.
You're going up. You're getting
Yeah,
rolled.
that no longer exists. So,
Okay, that's
along what the great part about any form of legalization or decriminalization, it allows law enforcement to go do their job.
Right.
It instead of messing with you because you have a joint, a seed, or a gram, or an eighth.
or paraphernalia, you know?
It allows them to go deal with somebody that's robbing, raping, or killing.
Yeah.
You know, something a little bit more serious. So it frees law enforcement, because I speak with law enforcement all the time. I've spoken with all the captains, or a bunch of captains in South LA, and sergeants, and they don't have a clue what they need to enforce. That's why you see all of the
Really?
rogue shop. Absolutely.
Wait,
because
you're telling me they're ground troops. They're not educating. A lot of them aren't educated.
Well, the thing
Zero
is,
education as at this point right now. You think to the street beat cops
so how
and how to
first of
deal
all,
with us in the streets with having weed.
Absolutely. So what you have to ask yourself first is, how and where are they going to get this education from? If the industry doesn't give them that education and information, then they'll never get it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So industry players like myself can explain to them what a legitimate shop is and what's a illegitimate shop is as well. So now they have a clear understanding of what that is. The city didn't know. Why? Because they were uneducated
Right.
about who we were within this industry.
Right.
Now that we have partnered with the city, because this is the beauty now, we have taken Prop D, which was toxic to the community, to the industry, and to Los Angeles City Council. We've gotten rid of that and brought in Proposition M. This gives the city the power back to regulate and control.
And watch and make sure you guys aren't doing shady shit.
Exactly. So once we've given them the control back, then they can set all of these parameters in place. The CLC, the Cannabis Licensing Commission, and other entities that can govern and control medical marijuana within their city, just as ABC does.
So, okay, now with that said, I have this next question coming up is, there is a lot of cash in the business.
Yes.
Shit ton of cash.
And the banks are not taking it.
And the banks ain't going to take it right now. They still have they're kind of wait right. Are they waiting for you guys for this legislation? How is that going to work out? Because if you guys can't put your money in a bank, you guys still see what I'm getting
all
at?
Cash.
What I'm getting
cash.
no
All cash.
that's what I'm saying. That it's all cash.
Nothing but.
But what I'm saying is that's where the danger. There's a lot of danger that comes in with that. Where Scott and I have been, the job we do. A lot of nights I've been to, like, just in the last 3 months, him and I have been to four or five, holdups, shootings at dispensaries. Whether it's a mishap that happens in the store, or it's two customers that have an agreement, or the store's being held up. But there's a lot of that shit that happens. So how is the industry going to safeguard itself from this? What's your guys' ideas on that?
Well, as of right now, we're doing what we call creative banking.
Fucking hey. I think I did some of that today.
BFC, Cannabis.
So we do what we call creative banking, and a lot of us do that creative banking. What we have are what we call management companies, and those management companies are able to do banking because those management companies don't have green thumb collective names.
But also, Virgil, when you say creative banking, I think a lot of people also hear laundering.
Absolutely. There are so many.
I like your term. I like your term better because
Exactly.
I'm saying. I mean, that's that's old school thought.
Yeah,
and now
absolutely.
this is new. This is
Absolutely.
progressive. So creative banking. So go on, explain to that.
Creative banking. So what we've done is created management companies to manage our collective so that we are able to do banking. That takes a lot of the danger out of us having cash on site, like large sums of cash on site. And then you still have your old schoolers that just have what we call mattress money or backyard money.
Sure.
That's still
Good old shovel and a fucking
shovel in
bank
a barrel.
bags and
absolutely
Vac seals.
yes.
fucking-
Okay, now, Virgil, let me ask you a question because my mother had brought up something, and because this guy was doing this in Colorado, and she had talked to Gene about it. So my mother sells houses
Okay.
in Georgia. Okay, so what was happening was for a while there, these people wanted to get loans and they couldn't get loans from the bank. So they were getting loans from guys out in Colorado. So they were getting the cash
Yes.
from Colorado because they had all this cash around, and then those guys were able to make their stipulations of how they wanted. They put their percentages and everything on what they wanted, and it was a way for them to keep the money that's going. And they got a loan, and they were able to help. They're almost like being Robin Hood because they were able to
Absolutely.
help people get houses.
They were loan sharking,
There's basically-
collateralizing on
there's
real
another
estate.
side of loan sharking. Now, do you think that what you're saying? What's the name of the bank that you're saying?
Creative banking.
The creative banking. If there's a way that you can. Well, I mean, I understand, but if you think there's a way that you can, because there's a lot of people that can't get loans,
Well, right now,
and you can help them out.
Yes, right now, assembly members, senators, the BOE are all pulling together to figure out how to do banking and to encourage and put out laws to almost force banking to do business with the industry
I mean, and
to
they
protect
would be
us.
dumb not to. I mean, look how much fucking revenue you bring it into a fucking bank. And you know what banks all they do is they take your fucking money and they use it for
And they
fucking,
use it for
and they use
them.
it for other shit.
Bigger stuff.
For
We
bigger stuff.
stimulate the
and
economy.
exactly. So why the fuck banks wouldn't take a fucking duffel
Because
bags
it's
to
dope money.
No. But banks are fucking. But they're shifty anyway. Banks are fucking crooked to the fucking up to the fucking eyeballs anyway. So I mean, that taking your guys' money just adds to their whole like don't look over here like mentality. But I mean, right? Honestly, you guys are just you guys are just if you put more money into the bank system, then more people will be able to get loans because they had more cash available for fucking small other businesses, other people that first home buyers, right? I mean, all it's going to do is just going to influx the money and access, and people can get access to that money.
Absolutely, and I mean it's a win-win situation.
But excuse me, but I think the minute they do it, what I'm saying is I think that kind of lends more credibility to you guys' fight. And there's a whole back room of fucking old white guys that are going
Yeah,
Well, let me be clear. The banks want to do business with us.
But-
They do. They are like wolves
Right,
with
I mean, right.
veins.
I mean,
They're
it's-
waiting
can't.
to.
But okay, why, Gene? Why?
Because
Who's
the banks are federally funded.
funded, right?
Exactly.
FDIC.
It's a Schedule
so,
One drug.
and it's still a Schedule One drug. So that's what I'm saying. So it all comes back down to
But I
fucking
mean,
descheduling.
but when you watch Scarface, they were bringing in. Remember Scarface? They're like,
But that was the
the
80s,
banker was
that's
like,
the
I remember
80s.
in the beginning he was like, okay, this is great. And after a while, he was to that picture was going, like, oh God, what? You guys are bringing all this money in.
I know some cats from the 80s, and they said that was, I mean, all the way from Miami to all the way to California, you used to be able to bring them giant duffel bags in and go, yeah, I own a fucking laundry department, I own a laundry, we do laundry, and it's all cash and
And you
carry.
can't hide nothing in
terrorism
Switzerland
has
anymore,
changed
right?
that
Oh,
dramatically.
terrorism.
Terrorism.
What do we
So
say?
you-
What
so
do we
you-
say here? What do we say at the shop? 9/11's changed everything, right, Scott?
Terrorism.
So, you-
9/11.
so Switzerland is non-existent anymore. Before he's like, just hide the money in Switzerland, but you can't do that
Switzerland's
anymore,
always been there, Pook. Don't get that
But
mixed.
now they can find your funds, American funds, if there's too much.
But like the city of LA now has eased up their belt. They're accepting cash now for our tax payments because before we had to pay by check. So
Okay.
they were forcing us to launder money.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's what I'm coming back to round and round is that they keep forcing this hand on you guys. When I think the states. I mean, honestly, I think the states do want the feds, like you said. They have loosened up and they're like, stay the fuck out of our backyard because
Absolutely.
this is good. I mean, look at Colorado. I mean, I think. In the second year, after the second year, they had over like $8 trillion in fucking or excess of tax money in the coffers
Yes.
of that state.
Yes.
In 2 years after the fucking plan. So are you telling me how is this not working? And I think I also read somewhere too that they were like all their fucking like DUIs and violence all the way down, all the way down.
Absolutely.
So everybody wants to, you know, kind of like, you know, thumb their nose at this industry when it's actually, it's not, you're not the bad guy anymore. It's the federal government that's still trying to keep forcing this hand.
Correct.
And honestly too, Gene, I think that the government, the biggest problem is they don't know, they cannot figure out how to get a wranglehold on it and make and make
own it.
and own it.
That's what it is. They can't own it.
I think that they are struggling fucking day to day. They got their big think tanks going, and they got these guys going, we know how to make fucking bombs, but we cannot figure out how to fucking wrangle in and make this money from this marijuana. So they keep dragging their feet on this thing and making the fucking the patient suffer, the fucking business owner suffer, the banks suffer. I mean, like they're just keeping this at bay.
Well, see, people don't realize that under the Bush administration, they had a federal medical marijuana program. And Bush opened it up to the public. People started putting in applications, and a whole flood of applications came in, and they were like, oh, shit.
Right.
We didn't expect this. So there were maybe about 20 to 30 applicants that came in and made it through. And so the government has been growing medical marijuana at the University of Mississippi for years.
Yeah.
And so they would send those tin cans with pre-rolled joints to these patients every month.
The test subjects.
Well, this was the federal medical marijuana program. The same government.
But where's those joints going? Where were they?
To the people that apply for those programs.
Okay.
So they would mail them to their house, and they would get a tin can with their joint, and these were the only people that could smoke a joint on federal property.
Right.
The only ones. And so a lot of them were...
Or basically any property. They were cool. They were good to go anywhere.
Exactly.
Right.
So they were terminally ill. So a lot of them have passed away since then, and maybe only one or two of them are still alive and still receive that tin can. So the same government that says that they don't believe that this is a medicine...
They've been involved. They've been shipping. Like you said, Virgil. They've been fucking shipping. So it's
using their own shipping method.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
The post office.
The post office.
So where do you guys? Okay, so if Prop M got passed, so where do you see this going, and where do you see us in 5 years in California, and in regards to cannabis?
I see it as what it is now, and even stronger. The number one market in the world, number one production market in the world, and then once it opens up to states, then we'll be shipping our cannabis to other states with that little green bear on there.
So do you think in the future, within the 5 years, even with Colorado, do you think it's going to be able to be interstate truck? Because when you get into interstate trucking, then you've heard of the little thing called Somalian pirates, right?
Yeah.
And then how does our president now fit into this?
Oh no!
Fuck him.
It's
he does it. I said 5 years.
Yeah.
You did say 5 years.
He's done it in 4.
Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
But does he care? Does he matter? Is he going to make a difference in this fight that you have, or is it going to? Is he have other things to deal with?
I think he has a full plate over there. So I think what's going to shake out.
You might sneak this one through.
We'll sneak this one through.
It's money, so somehow he'll want to get involved.
Right.
With
No,
that.
Well, hold on a second. Who just joined the party?
This is Lucky. I mean, we've been talking about weed so much, man, that I just had to come in, man. I'm feeling like
Lucky Charms.
I say Lucky Charms. I feel like I need it right now.
Okay. I got a weed question. I was talking with a friend the other day that he's a grower, but he's not like a big time grower. He just backyard grower, but he knows a lot about weed. And he told me, he goes, there's actually like only a total of like 5 or 6 strains total of weed, and then from those strains is they come out with all these little crazy fucking names, like the ghost in your closet, or I'm gonna kill you
the
now.
Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
Where do these names come from?
But what do you know anything about with that whole my theory, that guy's theory on the strains?
There's a sativa and there's an indica.
Indica.
See, when
There's
I
an
was,
OG
so there's two.
and there's a hybrid.
Right.
OGs is predominantly an OG flower that's been named a million times.
Right. So yeah, it's been named. So I mean, OG means original gangster. Basically, it's original. It's
original ganja.
Original ganja. Right. Okay.
Yeah, so you have your mother strains. You have your Hindu Kush, which is like kind of the that would be your I guess you would say OG, which is your indica dominant type strain, and then you have your sativa dominant strain. And so what you have is
And hold on, let me stop right here. You guys don't partake, so you know all this by knowledge. I mean, obviously, some history in the back, but you don't partake now. So with what you know, it's good to know that you don't do it, but you know about it. Is what I'm getting at.
We don't consume, but we have been involved in the industry for so long. We know everything about the plant, so it's become more of a passion for us to create this plant and make it accessible to people who need it for medicinal purposes. We are strictly for medical marijuana. Recreational can do as it please.
Do you think that do you think in 2018 when recreational comes on, we're going to see a huge influx in the industry with cash and money? Do you think you're going to see?
Of course. I mean, once you open it up to recreational, and all you'll need is a California ID or an ID to show that
so
you're 21.
So you'll no longer have to be scripted and once you go recreational.
We're gonna
a California license, and you have to be older than 18.
We're going to retain medical. We're not going to get rid of medical. It's 21 and over.
Oh,
okay,
it's 21 and over.
So let me ask this question, Todd, because I get asked by when I was in Atlanta, a lot of people ask me this question. So, if they're coming from out of state and they come to California and they want to smoke some weed and they want to go to one of our stores, they cannot go in there, right?
As of right now,
with a Georgia license, they cannot.
As of right now, they cannot. But once recreational opens up, there is nothing in the law saying that you have to be a California citizen to purchase cannabis as long as you're 21 and over.
So it's going to be like buying liquor anywhere else.
Absolutely.
After when?
January
1st, 2018. They said early in the year.
2018.
Passed.
Okay, so another question while we're going this way. What does it take to be a grower now? Can people from out of state all of a sudden what does it take a person from out of state to become a grower in California now?
Well,
if someone wants to pack up and leave and head west and say, I want to be a grower,
like the gold rush days.
The gold rush, the green rush.
Exactly. One thing we've done is we have a bill out called AB 259. So AB 259 protects Californians for 3 years. So if someone wants to come from out of state into California, they have to be a resident for 3 years before they can apply for any cannabis business license.
Okay, so is that going to stick with 3 years, or do you see that going up in years?
We plan on lobbying for more than that.
I think it should be 5.
You want to lock out, like growers and
we're kind of selfish here in California.
Yeah, no, I get that.
We protect our territory. We're territorial.
Yeah, we got to. You have to, because anybody else can just. Those boys from down south with that old money can come down here and be like,
and you know what? Because usually it's the opposite. People are leaving this state because it's so expensive to live here. But the minute you find that there's a green rush going on, you want to come here, but you want to play that game. It's 3 years now, but you guys are lobbying to get it up to 5. At least
we're going to lobby for more than that. We're going to try to do a 3-year extension after that.
Okay.
After the 3 years. So as much as we can give our local Californians and Angelenos a head start and to beef up their
Gotcha. That makes sense. What's wrong with that? That's just taking care of states.
Absolutely.
Every state does that. They have lockouts on every little thing.
Correct.
Like you can't probably go down to Louisiana and just get a fishing boat and just say I want to start fishing shrimps.
Just because you have money,
you got you can't just
we want to support local businesses, and that's the thing. We want to keep businesses in California, create more businesses within California, and keep a local. If we do anything with other states, we would, if anything, we would like to distribute to other states.
Right.
Just like, my brand, which is California Cannabis. So, you have Florida oranges, Idaho potatoes, California Cannabis.
Right. So do you see that down the line? Do you think that this is gonna turn into such a I mean, into such a wide opening that you will be able to interstate
It's
truck?
like it's heading in that direction. You know, right now branding
How
is
busted? How much trouble can you get in if you ship like say $100 worth of weed from here to like say Texas?
It's federal.
That's federal.
it's
so that's
federal, but I don't think the feds will do anything for you for $100 worth of weed. You'd have to be shipping a
100
lot more than
pounds.
that.
100 pounds. They want to come knock on your door and talk to you,
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
Okay. All right.
Maybe even 3 pounds.
Maybe.
Or 5. Your lucky
Five,
number.
my lucky number.
Aren't you going on a vacation in a week?
Shut up. Let's not talk about
Why are you
that.
asking questions?
Because I just asked a question. That's why. That's why. All right? I just wanted to know.
So let me ask another question I have. So, what products have THC? Is there tea? Is there tea?
Every
is there tea
product
bags?
that you can
Because I know
imagine.
they used to call tea. Bob Marley called the tea booga wooga. No, he didn't call that booga wooga. Booga wooga is mushroom tea. But there's tea, and is there sodas now?
Yes.
Okay, I know there's lemonade. 'Cause my friend somehow got one lemonade
If
here,
you can
brought
eat
it to
it,
Alabama.
you can put it in it.
You
So
can-
my question
yeah.
is, my biggest question is, companies like Rice Krispie, Kellogg's, and Captain Crunch. So you guys take their cereals, and then you're like, make it and add to it, and then you say, well, we got that Crunch Berry with 25% marijuana in it. So is that almost like a
It's already being done.
it's being done, but is that like an infringement between the company?
Yeah.
Because you're taking a Kellogg product,
Yes.
saying it's a Rice Krispie treat, and you're using that name, and then but you're sprinkling it with marijuana. You're taking Captain Crunches and making Crunch bars and sprinkling it. How do you get around?
Well, I think it's more of an
They use
ingredient.
multi-meals
I think
type
it's more of
shit?
an ingredient thing. So if I just hypothetically speaking, I take Captain Crunch, and when I infuse it and do the things that I want to do with it, it is now my product. It is no longer a Captain
Yeah,
Crunch
I bought
product.
that. I
That's
bought
not true.
Captain
because
Crunch.
because it's been infused now.
But it's their product.
Yeah, but they don't have any rights on their product to where no one can take it and either put marshmallows with it and like make those
Right.
marshmallows.
No, okay,
Rice
no,
Krispie treats,
no,
right?
yes, no, hold on. Now, when you say Captain Crunch, that's probably true, but you got Kellogg is a whole different monster because they know that they're Rice Krispies. They know they have patterns for Rice Krispie. So
But they would. Well, look.
How many millions of people make Rice
Right.
Krispies?
No,
a
no,
day?
no, no.
Is
I'm
it going
sure
to get to the point where they do their own?
No, but
is
that's-
Kellogg's going to make it? Is it going to get to the point? And we're not
No.
going to see it in our lifetime.
Fuck no.
But I mean, you're going to be able to walk
Maybe-
into a 7-Eleven one
no,
day
yeah,
and buy
yeah,
a joint,
I,
right?
I
So
would
why
say
wouldn't you?
I would say one day they would
Right,
because
so, some major brand
Yeah,
like
some
Kellogg would
major
probably
brand,
get in the band,
absolutely.
get in the game.
the adult version cereal.
Well, right.
exactly.
Not just cereals, but everything
But look
that's
at-
a part
look
of it.
like-
Cookies
like
and
what Virgil was
crap.
just saying right there. It's like, so if I go to the store and buy a bunch of fucking food and ingredients, that farmer that made the radish, since I fucking changed that radish into a weed radish, I bought the radish already.
I mean, and
right?
everybody in their
Exactly.
lifetime has
And
made
you-
weed
and you-
butter,
and-
and
no,
we
but
try to
yeah,
make
yeah,
weed
and,
cookies.
and you label it and package it with your name
Right.
and your label on it, it becomes your product.
Let me ask you this: there is a lot of controversy, and it's in the news a lot too. That because of these edibles, a lot of these
Yes.
edibles are getting made, and they kind of are packaging them in a lot of nowadays candy wrappers or
Novelty candy bar wrappers.
Yeah, the
yeah.
Snickers and Reese's, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And you do hear of kids. There was this, I think, on the news a couple weeks ago, was a kid got a hold of a bag of gummy bears that was or gummy edibles and got a hold of them, and the kid
Probably
had
ate 'em all.
he ate a handful of them. And he had to get rushed to the hospital. The kid survived in the story that I'm talking about. But how do you guys come back? It comes down to regulation, right? And with the licensing,
Absolutely, and
Virgil,
it comes down to being responsible.
Right.
So you have kids that go into
Well,
their
are you talking about on the parent level, or are you talking on the business level?
on the parent level and the business
Okay.
level. So packaging and responsible packaging.
I mean, you agree, right? That the packaging has to be done in a proper way.
Well,
Did you,
yeah,
right?
it has to be done where it's child proof, and it has to have a label on there cannabis infused, not for children, for medical use only, or
I mean, just like cigarettes, they put the fucking "Do not smoke us, we're gonna kill you."
Smoking kills you.
exactly.
Yeah, smoking kills you. You know all that shit. So.
But you know, we have to be very clear as responsible people as well. You have kids going into their parents' medicine cabinet, grabbing their medication out of there and crushing them up and snorting it and doing things like
fucking
that.
Adderalls, Vikes, all that
absolutely.
shit.
And
yeah.
then with the firearm, you know, parents are supposed to lock that away
And kids
so that
get-
kids don't get to
and
it.
they
So-
get a hold of it all the time.
Exactly.
You hear about
So
that all the time.
it's about being responsible. You know, one thing we have to understand is that we'll put every safeguard in place to protect our children. I have 5 myself, so
But it's
I'm
on you.
always about
But it comes back down to on you, parent.
responsible
stability.
parents. You know,
Right.
if you know you consume, then you need to buy what the industry sells. Is this thing with a lock and key that you can put in there? It has a what are those cold lockings on there where you can lock away your cannabis and you can take that thing and throw it on the ground and it still won't crack open.
Yeah.
To keep it away from your children. Put it in high places where your kids can't get access to it. At the very top.
No more in the frisbee under the underneath the bed, right, Gene? You know,
Yeah,
the
or in
old
your half a
frisbee,
Tampa box.
right? There you go.
Hey, you know, I had a song about that. You know, the Beat Pips did a song about
You know it.
about my uncle. I had a song, and no, I ain't gonna do the lyrics.
So, you know, it's all about us being
For the
responsible.
shoebox.
You know, I speak with a lot of local community councils, and I've have over the course of this past 9 months, bringing Prop M into play. And, you know, a lot of them are, our children are this and our children are that. And then I have to explain to them that I have 5 children. And my children grew up around cannabis. My oldest daughter is 23 years old. I've been in the business over 30 years.
Right.
So they grew up
She's well
around.
educated. She knows. I mean,
Exactly, and I am a responsible parent.
sure.
None of my kids are consumers of the product except for one, and none of them are entertaining this business at all, which is something that we have to be responsible as parents. Make sure we educate.
Yeah.
Because education is the most important thing.
Yes.
They have taken that away from us in high school. Remember, we used to have sex education. Remember, we used to
Yeah.
have a lot of programs in there to educate us.
Health class and all. Yeah.
We need to bring that back to the schools to educate them about taking those pills, oxycodone,
Yep.
and all of the things that these
Yeah.
kids
No,
are
you're
getting
absolutely
hold
right.
to,
Yeah.
and cannabis as well, and about being responsible. We tell them to drink responsibly or don't drink until you're 21.
Sure. You know, you
and
got
consume
fucking
and smoke responsibly.
all good points, man.
It's no different than any other industry and any product and any other so-called harmful industry. We just have to make sure that we put the provisions into place to protect our children as much as possible. But education is the most important key.
Do you think it's? I mean, with that said, like, I mean, weed is still. I mean, not to me and not to my crew, not so much, but it's still a taboo. Like, I mean, right? I mean, don't you agree, Gene? I mean, it's still.
Especially in the Hispanic and
And black
I
community.
mean,
absolutely.
so where I was going with this is my mom basically she just survived breast cancer, and she had they spotted it in time, removed it, and you know, she had 4 different chemos sessions, and man, that fucking chemo, man. I mean, it's
a killer.
It's 2 giant bags of poison. It's liquid, clear poison.
Yeah.
And so, and it would take my mom like 7 days, and the first 4 days were fucking hell, you know. But my mom has never taken a drug in her life, never smoked, never fucking done anything, barely drinks. And I was sitting there the whole time, and I'm thinking, how do I broach this subject with my mom's to be like, you know, even with the oils, Gene, like, because I know my mom doesn't want to sit there and drag on a fucking J with me on the couch, but like just trying to get her to like to even like listen to what I have to say about the subject, you know, and. Like I said, education's a key, but it's still like, am I right? It's still, it's a
100%,
taboo.
yeah. I have my
Taboo.
95-year-old grandmother taking P1 to open her appetite.
And I mean, does she not nowadays go, fuck, like, you know, now she knows because she's got you on hand to
Correct.
fucking let her know
Right.
that this isn't such a bad thing, Grandma.
Yeah.
Like, it's all been so, like, you know, stigmatized for so long.
Well, you have to bring it to him in a different way. See, he brought it to her in a tincture form, not
Sure.
in a rolled up joint
Yeah,
form.
yeah, yeah.
So
Hey,
a lot of the older women, have arthritis and certain pains.
Yep.
And so I take topicals that have rub,
Even
and it
salves.
actually smells, and they actually smell good. That women like, oh, this smells great, and they don't smell any cannabis. And then when they use it, they like, man,
It smells great. I bet you money. It smells better than that old grandma perfume that you always use, right?
And it actually is effective and works, and then it begins to change and their perception of this. And we say, we want you to understand that cannabis is not just smoking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's changed, and like I said, the government would have you think, no, it's still Schedule 1. This is still bad shit going on, but it's not. It's not, and that's why I'm glad we had you guys on to talk about this today, because it needs a bigger push. I mean, you guys have made really big strides in the industry up to today, but it needs to go further. I mean, it needs to get pushed, right, guys?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
100%.
Yes, it does.
And that's my whole cannabis and coffee spin. I want to be the Starbucks of cannabis.
Oh, really?
You wanna-
That's your new plan, huh, Gene?
You want to come
Cannabis coffee.
You want
Right.
to come enjoy a cup of coffee and smoke your joint or take
Well,
your
I mean, that's what they do in
tincture or
Amsterdam.
eat
That's
your
what
edible.
that's what they had. When I was in Amsterdam, that's what I was really, not only the fact that there was so many roaches on the ground, but I really
Without legs.
yeah, without legs, the good roaches. But Amsterdam, Gene, was such an eye opener, and I was there in '95, summer of '95. When I was there, I was really amazed that that people aren't running up and down the street like fucking setting their
Nuts.
hairs on fire
Yes.
and nuts. I mean, and actually Amsterdam even had a fucking park where heroin addicts could fucking tend to themselves down the fucking way. But for the most part, all of the fucking the tourist fucking streets and all up and down in Amsterdam, you could just go in and have a meal and have coffee and eat. And if you wanted just coffee, you could get your weed there, have a cup of coffee, walk 3 blocks to where you're going to have dinner, smoke all the way there, put it out, and then go have fucking dinner. And nobody fucking cares. Nobody cares. And I thought the whole time, fucking, especially being from California in 1995, which, by the way, I did end up smuggling some back. Oh, yeah. You know what? I took it. I got it in, I carved out all the Carmex in a Carmex fucking thing, fucking smashed as much as I could in the Carmex. I mean, this is Amsterdam weed. There's no way I was gonna be able to get them back to California and tell the guys, I didn't bring any, man. I had to bring some back. So I got it all in a Carmex fucking thing, and I put it inside of my jacket liner. Fucking wore that jacket on and off. Fucking went through customs, no problem, man.
Try that now.
Yeah,
No,
good
no,
luck
no,
today.
no.
That's pre 9/11.
That's pre 9/11. Yeah, everyone knows 1995 is pre 9/11. But what I'm saying is that it needs to be opened up and talked about way more than it is even nowadays, right? Because I mean, the people need to be educated with this. It fucking is helping people. It's fucking curing cancer. It's putting people in remission. It's fucking it's giving people appetite. It's giving fucking. I mean, this is such a fucking wonder drug, and it's no wonder that the companies
absolutely.
wanted to fucking hide this
Bury
and
it.
bury it,
Yes,
bury it. And
bury
they're
it.
still trying to fucking bury it somewhat, on a small level or on a
Absolutely.
big level, but they still don't want you guys in business, right?
Absolutely not.
And we must not forget our veterans that went and fought in war and come back.
Those
with
dudes,
all of
especially.
these issues, and so this is a medicine that actually helps them, and this is something that is super important. And I've sat down and spoken with many veterans about cannabis, and there was I went to a event for the High Times event that they had at the convention center, and they had an old platform
In Los
with
Angeles?
Yes, in Los Angeles. So they had a platform with about 5 veterans on there talking about their experience with cannabis and versus their experience with
Pharmaceuticals.
Pharmaceuticals. And they said majority of them said when they took the pharmaceuticals that their family and children really didn't bother with them, didn't mess with them because it altered their mood.
It's hard. They didn't want to engage because it's psychotropics.
Exactly.
The psychotropics, it changes
It
them.
changes them, absolutely. And they were like, man, I didn't spend time with my children. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. And so, when they started pulling away from that, a couple of them went to drug rehab. But this is ironic. They went to drug rehab to get off of those drugs to come back and consume cannabis and now be a part of their family's life.
Right. No, it's fucking sickening the way the fucking government fucking puts their hand in when they want, and they'll tell you what's best for you. But when there's an overwhelming fucking number of people that are veterans, athletes, regular citizens, fucking patients that are saying, I'd rather take this fucking plant than the 10 fucking different types of pills you got me on.
Yeah, man.
And still, everything's locked up and held up in legislation, and they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it.
Yeah, well, they're listening now. So legislation is definitely listening now. That's why we have MCRSA on the books. We have ALMA, adult use of medical marijuana, that is passed, Prop 64. And so this is going to move the conversation forward and continue to move the conversation forward. We have so many states that are jumping on board and having this conversation. How do we have medical marijuana in our state? How can we?
What do we need? Yeah.
What do we need to do? How do we decriminalize this? Because one, we need to stop locking people up over this plant.
Is that happening? Is there a downslope on that happening?
With Prop 64 and of course with medical marijuana coming into play, it is now decriminalized marijuana to the extent where law enforcement now, you have to keep in mind, they cannot use the smell of marijuana as probable
Gotcha.
cause. Because now, if I'm 21, I can consume medical marijuana. And
Right.
if I smell and reek of marijuana, you can't.
That's my business.
Yeah, and you can't search me or search my car and say it's probable cause to
Right.
search my car.
Right. But that's a big. But to have that implemented and have the actual officers abide by those rules, that's a whole different story.
Well, of course, then once
Well, they get caught up in court, it get thrown out.
Exactly.
Right.
And or
they're
they
gonna
get
tie
sued.
And they're gonna tie these courts up, and the courts are gonna have to fucking tell them like, hey,
Ease up.
ease up on this shit because we got our fucking dockets full of fucking a bunch of shit that we're gonna get tossed out.
Absolutely.
We have no fucking legal rights or bias to fucking to incarcerate these guys.
So that's what decriminalization, legalization does for us in the long run. And through time, law enforcement, like now, they're not even concerned with cannabis anymore. Local law enforcement just does not even entertain the thought of cannabis.
I
It
never
has to be
forget when
something
I,
serious.
When I was in, I heard a news report, I think it was Channel 11 News, and I heard that Santa Monica, and this is the first time I ever heard anything like it said Santa Monica is not going to pull you over, write you a ticket, or do anything to you if you're smoking weed because they got other things to worry about.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think they were like the first city that was like, we don't care about none of that stuff.
Well, Santa Monica was one of the first cities to decriminalize an ounce. So you could have an ounce of cannabis
And
in
they
your
roll you up
possession.
on it, but they let you keep it before, or
Well,
if you
no,
get-
they decriminalized it so you could possess an ounce
Right.
of cannabis.
was not illegal.
Period. Was
Right.
not
I
illegal.
think all the beach cities should be like that because what do
Yeah.
you think you're going to the beach for? To relax, smoke a joint, sit on the beach,
Absolutely.
chill out.
If you got sand within 5 miles of your fucking city, you're good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got a question. So, how are you able to smoke in any of your shops now? Are you like if someone purchased weed and can you try any weed in the shops? Is that
Legally, there's no on-site consumption.
None.
So.
none?
Zero.
But you want to start this cannabis coffee shops, and okay. So what's it going to entail to get that rolling?
Would it be right next door to your shop?
Eventually, when
Well,
people can consume.
because Oakland does. Like I said, I've seen shops where they have shops in the back in the back of ice cream parlors or coffee shops or restaurants are very close within the vicinity.
So they're putting us in zones, industrial zones, where hopefully when it does become recreational, people will be able to consume outside
Okay.
of the establishment like you can a cigarette.
Well,
Gotcha.
let me just give you a huge problem with not being able to consume in public or consume anywhere. You have people who are renters, and those renters cannot smoke inside their homes. And so they're
Like you're talking
forced-
about like apartments or businesses?
apartments,
Both.
both apartments and
Oh,
businesses.
so you're saying
Yeah,
renters
if
now
you-
are
no,
on your
You can write that on the
application
I can write that on my contract.
contract?
and there are a lot of contracts that have that. If you
if we
consume
smell marijuana that coming out of the apartment that I'm renting you, I can fucking toss you?
absolutely.
I have
so
it
what
on my contracts.
Yeah, absolutely. It's on a lot of contracts.
Motherfucker!
You have
So-
that on your contracts? That's great.
No, but it's on a lot of contracts. So what happens is it forces that person to go to the park or out into the streets
Sure.
where it is illegal to consume in
Correct.
public, and then now you put this person in a catch-22. So
Gotcha.
we have explained that to our local officials here in Los
And what is
Angeles
their take
City
on
Council.
it?
Their take is that we need to fix that problem.
Because
So
guess what? For
they're
the owner,
smart and
guess what?
sensible.
Why?
if I go to jail, you're not gonna get your rent.
Right, and that's there's a very good way to fucking explain that. Go around going, you pinch us here, you're getting a bitch there.
Exactly. So what we've done is explain to City Council that there are a lot of renters out there that can't consume in their homes because of that rental agreement, and so therefore they're going to be forced to go to the park where you don't want them. So we need to have lounges where they can go to and
Gotcha.
consume their cannabis
And eat and drink the
hence-
coffee.
Absolutely.
Cannabis coffee. So is there like a limit? See, the thing with weed consumers, it's not like booze. It's not like booze whatsoever. I mean, you get somebody cranked up on the sativa strand, okay, it's a little bit of a head high and you're fucking having a good time. But for the most part, it's like you don't really, like, again, I just reference back to Amsterdam, but like there was never like anybody like getting out of hand, there's not that, there's not like, that's not like on the high list of like things we got to worry about on the day to day at this business.
No.
People just want to fucking chill, watch some
Relax,
fucking sports,
enjoy it.
and
Yeah.
and talk,
Netflix and
play some
chill.
fucking games, and right. I mean,
Well, I don't know if you guys saw that special, but they did a special at Mile High, and imagine that, Mile High Stadium in Denver, where people were drinking. And then once the legalization of marijuana came in, a lot more people were consuming marijuana versus drinking.
Yeah.
And so they had less fights, they had
Oh,
less
yeah.
disruptions, and everybody's crowded around the grill, with their plate in their hand.
waiting for food to be handed out.
Exactly. So they had a more peaceful environment, and statistically, they did a statistical study on that. That the security guards there had a better job. I mean, their job was easier
Yeah, it's
because
not
they
as
didn't have
intense.
to break
Yeah.
up every fight
Yep.
when somebody's crazy and drunk off of alcohol or beer or something. So it just shows how far cannabis has come, and really how much better it is than going to a bar or to a stadium where they serve liquor and you have everybody going crazy and
Can you
and
imagine
getting
one
nuts.
day where the fucking like the stadium is just like just got this big smoke ring,
Light
people
up.
just smoking and watching a fucking game, man? That's gonna be crazy.
I'm waiting just so I can smoke in Disneyland.
Disneyland, that's gonna be a minute.
Good luck with that one.
That's gonna be a minute.
Good luck with that one.
That's a whole nother
That's
country.
its own little fucking government fucking.
Yeah.
Walt
Remember
isn't gonna let that happen.
They took Nassim to jail, smoking in Disneyland.
Well, yes.
Well,
Sheriff Goofy
Yeah.
came and got his ass.
One day we need to create a green zone in Disneyland where
Green
the parents
zone in
can go
Disneyland.
smoke.
Well, just even like green zone, like amusement parks, period. Like,
Well, they just put that little bar, like where Mark Twain was. There's a bar in Disneyland where you can get on the little boat and go across, and you can go over there for the adults to go out there and go party now.
Well, that should be a consumption spot.
With the
Yeah.
green zone.
Okay, so sativa or indica? Do you see what's higher sales, Gene?
It's all preference.
But-
And
okay, but
I sell a lot more sativas.
Okay, so what is it? What is the?
And I'll sell a
what is
lot more
sativa-
indica.
You sell a
What
lot
is
more
what does the
indicas.
sativa do? What's the medical or what is the feeling?
It's
of
the
sativa?
head high.
Right, it's more of the heady high. It doesn't
Yeah,
put you.
indica's more in bed.
Yeah,
chill,
couch lock. That's like they put you on
Yeah.
couch
We
lock.
always-
stuck on stupid.
Yeah, we always say daytime sativa, nighttime indica.
Right.
Oh, so then when they make the hybrid, it's a cross between both of them, right?
It's a cross between both.
So then, what is that gonna make you feel like?
Depends on the percentage.
See, I ain't smoked weed in so long, and Gene knows that I was a smoking. I had smoke coming
Chimney.
out my ears.
Yeah, chimney's a
You know,
good.
That's what got you into your troubles.
See, when I was smoking, I was smoking the indica.
Chronic.
I was smoking chocolate tie. I used to smoke the same shit that Snoop Dogg smoked because I was getting it from his fucking his weed dealer. And I mean, I had that chocolate tie was like, oh my god, this. But I don't. Do you guys still see chocolate tie?
No, I haven't.
So
seen
what
chocolate
did it
tie.
just
No one
did it
sees.
just
No,
disappear?
it's gone.
Well,
It's
nobody's smuggling
Nobody
it
needs
from.
it.
Nobody needs it no more.
anymore.
Nobody's smuggling it from where it came from. So yeah,
Thailand.
but
But-
there's so many different strains out now, and different cannabis strains that shoot.
But you would think, myself, because I smoked weed every day, loved weed. I was a weedaholic. I was weed addicted. I love weed. Gene knows, Todd knows, Scott knows. I was the weed fiend.
That's where we got
I was
it.
the medicine man.
That's where we got it. back.
But now, after 10 years of not having any weed in my system, I thought I just really need some weed. I really need it.
Oh, That's not a question. You know how people, like, a lot of people say like the weed nowadays is like what they call weaponized, you know? And I mean, what is it like in the plant that it's nowadays and the way they're growing it? Is it fertilizers? Is it, like, what's making the weed so much more potent than it was, like, say, 15 years ago? What's the difference?
It's what you feed it.
Correct. It's all the nutrients.
Well, how come nobody in Mexico knows how to feed weed? Because back in that they used to get hay from Mexico, right? I mean that's where all the weed came from for a very long time.
Dirt bag gasoline,
right? I mean,
gasolina.
It's horrible.
They don't know how to grow like we do here in California, and then you got to understand a lot of that weed that they grow is actually good weed. They just take it and compress it all together
and just
and
make it
they
into,
don't
like,
know how to cure it. See, that's the biggest issue. You can grow the bombest crop of weed ever, and if you don't cure it properly, then you just pretty much ruin. Yeah,
it's dried out, right?
It's like wine. If you don't
age it right,
or even put it in the refrigerator right, the right temperature, it's just not going to last. I have a question for both of you. One, are you afraid of getting in trouble again? And two, are you afraid of getting in trouble?
No.
No?
No, I've.
Have you ever run into? Was there any kind of?
Well, he wasn't afraid of getting in trouble the first time, right?
Right.
No, I wasn't.
Okay, so now, what's changed between this time and I mean, obviously it's a two-part question for each of you, but what are you afraid and are you afraid?
I'm not afraid because there's been so much advancement in the industry with the cities now putting out the ordinances. So for me to think of getting in trouble, I have to do something really stupid to get in trouble. I have to be going across a state line with 50 pounds.
Right.
Or selling to a minor without a rec. But, as long as you do everything that they've provided you to do, I'm not scared.
Have you had any problems at any of your stores? Zero problems.
Thank God.
Since 2006, since you've been operating, you've had zero problems.
Zero.
And how about you, Virgil, since you've been back out and operating?
Haven't had any problems since then.
And you still got all 6 stores?
No, I only have 3 of them.
Because when you say you have no problems, like I said, during the whole time I've been stringing with Scott, there was one night I went to a story on the corner of, was it Rosecrans and Compton, or Compton Ave, right there before the bridge, before the riverbed. There was a dispensary there. Okay. And yeah, right there. Okay. And sheriff's detail in that area, and 2 dudes got fucking shot dead in the fucking dispensary. So like there are like I said, with the cash we were talking about earlier, like there are still like problems. I mean, you guys worry about those type of problems?
No, that was I'm familiar with that problem. I'm from Compton. So
yeah, there was 2 dudes. Two dudes got clipped, and I stayed all night long. I stayed all night long until the corners came to get that shot.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with the dispensary. That guy was from out of Chicago. He was a rapper. He had a lot of issues.
Yeah, right. That's right. He was a rapper. Remember that part of the story?
He had issues that have followed him from Chicago.
No shit. So you even know about that story? Yeah, that happened. Yeah, that happened like 2 years ago, Virg.
I thought I said I was from Compton.
Yeah, you are from Compton. You are, man. What's up?
When something happens to Compton, you need to talk to Virg.
No, that's right.
Break us down.
Call Virg. What the fuck is going on? Right? Because it takes forever to get a sheriff to fucking give you any info. You know?
And that was off of Compton and Atlantic.
Compton and Atlantic. There we go. First, even got the map. All right. So those 2 got clipped, and I stayed all night long. I stayed there to get the coroner dragging them out. I stayed there to get the fucking investigators going in with the flashlights and taping off the whole thing.
Well, it's the same thing at liquor stores. I mean, how many shootings happen at liquor stores?
No, I know that.
It's a place of establishment where people go. So it's going to happen.
Cash.
Let me just
that
tell
had nothing
you.
to do with the cash, though.
Yeah, let me tell you where the problem came in with dispensaries is that when a dispensary was robbed, they would say, "Oh, the assailant got away with large sums of cash and 100 pounds of marijuana." So that's where the problem
came. One of those
came.
is true. One of those is not.
Well, that's where the problem came in. Instead of saying like they do when you rob a bank, an undisclosed amount of money was taken. See, because what it does is that the banks say, we don't want you to say that. Because if people know that you can get this amount of money from the bank,
tomorrow.
Then there's going to be more robberies. So the same with the industry. If they can start saying an undisclosed amount of money and an undisclosed amount of
instead
marijuana,
of large, and give you the actual LBs.
Exactly. So now they know what
LB.
they're coming to get. When you take that out of someone's mind and thought process, then the robber sees no desire to go there and rob. So it's how we have been treated and marginalized and also pushed into the limelight like that.
Or the
brought into the limelight like that with what we possess or keep within our stores, it has made us a target. So the media has actually made us a target.
Sure. No, I can see
know.
that, man.
So,
Well, you're
I'm
not.
sorry.
You're not media yet. You're not network, Scott. You just feed the media. We just feed it.
All right,
So
we're gonna get close. Come on, we gotta get close. You know, we
we
can't-
can go all
we can
night
talk
on
to
that.
them
I
all
know,
night.
I
You know,
know,
everybody
I
has.
know.
But what we're gonna do, Gene? What is? I see you got some products here. But what do you let's talk about your products real quick here, because I see you holding. What is up with you? What you got?
So part of the cannabis and coffee is
You can put it right here.
I'm trying to open a manufacturing facility in Los Angeles, and we're going to make vape pens out of there. We're going to manufacture all the tinctures that, for medicine. We're making crumbles, which
what are
is-
crumbles?
Crumbles is basically
Oh, is that what the kids are calling the wax?
extract wax.
Wax.
It's
The
wax.
dab? Is it the dabs?
Dabs.
Right?
86% THC.
it's in the,
They both just double dab.
They all dab.
We know what the fuck.
yeah, that's in the.
So yeah, we're going to be opening up a manufacturing plant, which was actually a bakery. So we're going to be making a full line of edibles. I purchased.
Is there any
With the
is there
guy.
any regulation yet on the edibles and
Yes,
chocolates?
Yes, it is.
Is that coming? Is that
no?
something
It's
that's
already come.
oh.
The regulations have already been released from the state, and so the majority of the cities that'll be regulating this
There's like
industry.
standards, right? And that
Yeah,
means there have to be
absolutely.
standards put in place to how
Absolutely.
much you can put in, and so. But who watches you guys make sure that that's happening?
FDA.
FDA. So is there somebody that's you gotta? Do you have to ship your product or?
We have to have it tested.
Yeah, test. And there's
So
gotta be
we
some
have
testing
third-party
involved
lab
first. Okay.
testing.
I would
that'll
love to work
deal
for the
with that.
FDA in that department. Hey,
Can you imagine? Like, we opened a whole new department today, everybody. Who wants to volunteer in the fucking weed tasting department? Bing. Nice. Okay, so where is your shop again, Gene?
So my shop's on Melrose currently, but the manufacturing facility is going to be
no,
over.
Gene. We want to know where. You have the address for us?
8271 Melrose Avenue.
There we go.
Suite
82
102, the
Okay.
Emerald Room. Look for the green cross on Melrose.
Is that near the tattoo shop
What's
in
what's
7-Eleven?
in there? By Fairfax?
It's right off the corner of Sweetser and Melrose.
Yeah, right there in between Fairfax
And
and
my-
La Brea.
And mine is located on 1445 West Century Boulevard. And that's in between Normandy and Western. Around here, we call it a 20-twin.
2020 twin?
All right. Yeah, so I'm in between Normandy and Western on Century.
20 twin. All right.
So, Gene, when you get everything up and going, I want a strand named after me.
Kpook OG
The Kpook OG. Kpook OG?
or the mayor? Which one?
The mayor.
The mayor.
The mayor.
The mayor.
Well, hey man, thank you guys for coming in, man.
Oh,
I think
thank you.
I think
Thank you for
Yeah,
having
we
us.
need some Twitter. We need anything, everything. This is your chance to give everybody that's
where
watching.
can we get a hold of you guys?
How to get a
where
hold-
can the audience get a hold of you guys?
Go ahead, Virg. Start first.
You can get a hold to me at Cali Canna, and that's my Twitter, Facebook, or California Cannabis WC, which is my Instagram. You can reach me there. And I'm all throughout LA. President of the Southern California Coalition, which is the leading organization, largest trade organization in the country. I'm co-founder of California Minority Alliance and owner of California Cannabis. So I'm like Savoir Faire. I'm everywhere.
Always there. He's everywhere. Savoir
It's a
faire.
good pitch.
And also, they just released an article today in Forbes magazine about me. So when you go onto the Facebook and the Twitter, I'll post a link of the Forbes article. Very great piece in Forbes article.
Nice.
Listen, he made the Forbes.
Yeah.
Forbes magazine.
Forbes. You know what that means?
Business,
That means
motherfucker.
that means money. That means big things. And next you'll be taking your shirt like this in a GQ magazine. You'll be like,
Hey, who won the game?
getting sexy with it.
Not the Cavs.
Not the Cavs. One to go.
Hey, they went down again.
Down again.
Wow.
And Gene, what's everything on you right now?
So we have an Instagram. It's the Emerald Room LA. I also have California Cake Cultivation. So Cake is the brand that I own. We purchased the name Cake, go figure. So my dispensaries will be named Cake. So we're
that's
licensed. We're applying in Long Beach, Phase 2, City of Bellflower, Los Angeles,
Tweaker Flower.
the City of Linwood.
What about Norwalk?
We'll have a cake factory.
Oh, that's
and
cool,
in
man.
Adelanto, we have 2 cake factories.
Nice.
So
Can I get that? What's that? Tres leche with a little bit of sativa?
Cake OG.
Fresh leche with sativa sprinkled on top.
Yes, sir.
Can you spell happy birthday with that sativa oil?
Yeah.
Happy
Oh,
birthday.
shit. Hey man, guys, thank you so much for coming in, man. It was a good educational lesson.
thank
You know?
Educational.
Thank you.
Very educational.
Thank you. Go see me at CaliforniaCannabisWC.com.
Nice.
And come down to Gene's shop, the
Yeah.
Emerald,
Park it.
Park it.
and park it and
Get some
something.
cake. Get some coffee. Get some
Cake
weed.
and coffee, cannabis coffee. Come get some cake and coffee and make it happen. Please support these brothers here on everything that they're doing because Virgil is doing his best.
Yeah, and
to make sure.
educate yourself, audience. Educate yourself. This is, like I said, don't let anybody tell you that this isn't you're doing wrong. This is this needs to be pushed. This is
So for one more time, I got this last question because I know people like to know. So as of right now, unless you have a card, you can come into a cannabis store and get your cannabis products, everything you want cannabis. But you must have a card.
Yes, correct.
But
Script.
Medical marijuana.
American marijuana.
Recreational is not
recreational
implemented yet.
Okay, and the recreational will be implemented when?
2018.
And that's when anyone of 21 years of age can walk in and get whatever he wants.
She
and
wants.
or she wants, or she wants, and they'll be able to walk.
LGBT.
Because we like you too.
Yeah.
And they can just get whatever they want, walk in, do whatever, and get on out.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Nice.
you hear that, folks? You can just hold on. 2018 is right around the corner.
Just one more Christmas, a couple more sleeps, and we're there.
And
You're
you'll be
good.
walking like mummies to the green. Every time I see a green cross, I go, why me? All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
You
Thank
you
very,
for having
very
us.
much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Now we know what time it is. I don't know what happened to Chef AJ. He was having all kind of things. But right now, cooking in the kitchen, because we still gonna have it. It's gonna be a special cooking in the kitchen.
Yes, sir. You know how we
DJ
do.
Lou, man.
Got the all stony mix today.
The all stony
Got
mix.
some 45, some reggae, some stony hip hop.
Yes.
Mix of stuff. You know how we do.
Yes, how we do. So we'll both try to bless this today. You know, I'm kind of faded with this. We'll get our bless on.
And then we try to
Hey, when I say I'm faded, I'm not faded on no can of biz. I'm faded on my drink. Man, this was a wonderful show today. Got very educated. Very, very educated. I want to give a very special thank you to Virgil and Gene Gonzalez.
You saw us on you saw the news?
Loud ass, baby.
Smoking is a habit, someone can maintain it. Oh yeah. Come on your corner, them a bring it sexy. Them a bring you a
Hey, yo, today's show was really dope, man. I learned a lot. Just when I thought I knew it, Rick.
Thanks, G.
I
Appreciate
learned
it.
a lot today, man.
The Loud Lab Show not only entertains you, but it also educates you
Right.
on what's going on. It's not just a show of fun and games and records that spin. It's a show of education.
Learn something. Learn something.
That's why the Loud Lab Show might be on PBS one day. Education like the electric company. Hey, I like this. Hey, what about that old dirty bastard reggae style? That commercial?
Which one?
Yeah, the new one. Yeah. You gotta get that, man.
I saw that shit, man. Yeah, it's all reggae down. I think it's like a beer commercial, right?
Yeah. I think it's Corona commercial.
And it's like, the whole commercial's like yellow, too. It's like,
I think it's Corona.
you gotta get that.
Hey, reggae version. Folks, listen. Loud Lab Show. It's growing. You guys are watching. Tell your friend, tell your family members. It's educational. To stay with us, because it's gonna get better. Each time you see a show, it gets better and better. So until now and until later, here's my dedication to Don Cornelius. Life and soul.